What's going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez. I am back with another Player Prop Talk live stream here on the channel. As always, I hope this finds you doing well and in good spirits. We got an action-packed hour of Player Prop Talk ahead of us. No, I don't know if it's going to be action-packed. We're at the mercy of value. We're at the mercy of the books. We're at the mercy of all the numbers. So it could be action-packed or it could be very pedestrian. Nonetheless, we're here together. I hope you're off to a good start today. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope your Thursday was a good one. Football is officially back. First preseason game in the books. So it's only a matter of time before we have football, full-time football to talk about. But right now, preseason is in the mix. Hashtag blessed as we start up every live stream here on the channel. Over 10% of the U.S. population will perish in their sleep. You did not. You are blessed. We move on. We're going to be using the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer to help us locate some value across the industry. So wherever you play, PrizePicks, Underdog, BETR, Sleeper, Dabble, HOTSTREAK, Fliff, whatever, we can look it up. But if you want to look it up by yourself on your own time, you can use my code right there on the screen. Get 30% off your first month. We're also going to be using the props.cash resources to dig into some value, so we can look up player log, game logs, player, history versus pitcher, et cetera, et cetera. So we have a few different resources that we use, but if you want to use props.cash on your own time, there's my promo code. Apply it, and then you get 25% off your first month over on props.cash. So a couple of different resources we use, a couple of different resources you can use on your own and save some money doing so. That's it. Let's get this going. Appreciate y'all being here. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. It means a ton. We're going to pull up the OddsJam Optimizer and just take a gander at what's going on. What is up, T? What is up, JR? Let's get this dough. Absolutely. All right. Going to be hard to build out an all green slip today because of the lack of value on PrizePicks. But as of now, is what we got. Anderson under pitcher fantasy score. You know my feelings on pitcher fantasy scores. They are pretty hit or miss. Really hard to project. We've seen pitchers go complete games recently that just shatter their props. We've seen pitchers get pulled after one inning because of forearm soreness or something like that. So you really can never know. Two esports plays. Better of the two is going to be this one. Fossil over 14 first two map headshots because you get two nice data points right there. Let's check out Underdog and see what we got going on. Typically, I'm seeing way more value on Underdog because of, I don't know why, but that's what we're seeing. So I'm building out a few extra slips on Underdog. I mean, right off the bat, just what we have in view, we're already dealing with more value and higher upside plays. And then as you scroll, just way more to choose from as of now. Cole Ragan's under pitching fantasy score versus Detroit. Oh no. Dennis is over 29.5 first two map kills. That's a solid one. You got 3 data points right there. So the discrepancy is pretty large. Schwellenbach over pitcher fantasy score versus the Marlins. Just 1 data point. Miranda under 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs. A lot of support there. Daniel Tice under 9.5 points. A lot of data points on this one as well. You do have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5 plays that you can put in a slip if you want it to just run them right off the top. without doing any sort of digging. Austin Riley under 2 hits, runs, RBIs. That will give you a 6 pick. You can go Helio Ramos over his fantasy score. Just one data point though. And it goes on and on and on. BETR's been slacking a little bit, to be honest with you. We talked about this last stream. BETR right now is really just down to one sport. Baseball is what's driving BETR props. They don't have the Olympic props up, which is kind of odd because they had NBA. So I would assume they'd have Olympic basketball, but really what you're finding on BETR is a lot of MLB. No esports, some PGA, some MMA, no tennis. So it's hard to build out slips when it's just one sport. But you are getting some decent plays in terms of data points. Assad under strikeouts, Skubal over strikeouts, Judge under 2 hits, runs, RBIs. Diaz under his bases, Jordan under walks. Here's another Judge prop under RBIs. Yeah. Dabble. Dabble could be another source for you if you want to open up another Pick'em site account outside of PrizePicks or Underdog or whatever you already play. Dabble is a fun place. Tariq Skubal under his hits allowed, Vasquez over 2 earned runs. I like this Carrasco play over 2.5 earned runs. I really like this play. I really like that play. I want to see if it's available on other pick'em sites. It may not be considered a plus EV play. We can use Props.cash to look at the game logs. There's a lot of green right there with Carrasco. Skubal over strikeouts. This is all on Dabble. Let's see what Parlay has. After I look at the sports betting tab on OddsJam is also a good resource. This is where I find a lot of the tennis props, the first set, second set props on the sports betting tab. So like this one, Zing versus Vekic under 9.5 first set total games. That one's in play. And then if you play on Rebbit, taking the under 1.5 first inning total hits, it's a unique line. So Rebbit will offer a lot of different lines that you're not finding on PrizePicks and Underdog. We're going to build a slip here in a second. So if you're just joining the stream, oh, damn, my bad. I knew that was going to happen. I went to select the fantasy tab, and the screen was adjusting and minimizing. And as I clicked it, it clicked stop sharing, which is the little button above of that you can't see on the screen. So that's what happened there. All right, let's try it again. Let's try not to mess that one up. Let's see what Parlay Play has. Parlay Play, when I first started playing player props, or when I first got into playing multiple player prop sites outside of PrizePicks, Parlay Play had a lot of good lines. I've noticed in the past couple of months, it's really not. It's different too. When Parlay Play was introduced to the market, there weren't as many pick'em sites now. There are tons of pick'em sites, so competition runs deep. Tyler O'Neill over batter strikeouts at 1.5, so 2 strikeouts. Who's pitching on the other side? Who's pitching for the Rangers? Reynolds over hits, 2 hits today. Daniel Tice under 9.5 points. This Daniel Tice play might be worth looking at because we've seen this on PrizePicks or Underdog and now on Parlay Play. Under his points. Bobby Witt over 1.5 hits. That I feel anytime you get Bobby Witt line under 2, whether it's hits, runs, RBIs, total bases, hits, it's worth looking at. Now we're starting to see his number be 2. That's his lowest line is now 2. When you get it at 1.5, it's worth taking a look at. Now the matchup against Scooble is not ideal, but they can't all be perfect plays. Gomber over 17.5 pitching outs. It's possible as long as he's not pitching in Coors Field. I'm sure any ballpark outside of Coors Field offers a better pitching environment for Gomber. O'Neill Cruz over his bases. That's what's on Parlay Play. What's up, Rosalie? Jake Myers under hits, runs, RBIs. They're going to remove soon. Our Xavier Edwards fantasy score hit for the under, but I think the other one, who was it? Manuel, whatever. He didn't play yesterday. He wasn't in the lineup, so unfortunately, we weren't able to capitalize on that little correlation. All right, so a second ago when we were on PrizePicks, you saw that there was really no value, and now the value has just opened up, and it's mostly esports plays, which is fine. If we can find multiple points on an esport play, it's as good a play as we'll find. It doesn't have to be baseball or basketball or any, major market sport. Esports plays offer value, but you just like anything else, you got to be looking for the right things. Fortunately, there's a lot of one data point plays. The one data point plays that I will consider is when there's a 3 or more discrepancy. So like 24.5 first 2 map kills over on HOTSTREAK, and then PrizePicks has this at 27.5. We don't really know where the line is supposed to be because there's only 2 points, but that's a big difference. So I would look at the under on this one for sure. 22.5 versus 24.5. That's not bad. 32.5 versus 29.5. That's another good one. So this is definitely the high point. I think as books take more action on this, this might actually come down a little bit. All right, let's pull up PrizePicks. I guess we'll start off with Jake Myers, hits, runs, and RBIs. I'm just waiting on my PrizePicks to load up. I really think I need to hardwire my laptop to my modem, my router through Ethernet. If I feel stupid doing that because I'm paying for Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi is just really shaky. So I might have to consider doing that. Jake Myers under hits, runs, RBIs. Astros hosting Tampa Bay. You got Shane Baz starting for the Rays. You got Kikuchi starting for Tampa. All right, so you have Jake Myers under hits, runs, RBIs on 2 booked. You got -160, -165, +120, +125. Projected for 1.35 hits, runs, and RBIs today. Looked like he's on for a single, and that's about it. When we take a look at his total base prop of 0.5, 155 to the over, that's 1. RBI doesn't look strong, and then runs don't look all that good as well. No history versus Shane Baz typically give the advantage to the pitcher in these situations when they're facing a team for the first time. Against right-handed pitching, Jake Myers is only batting .224. Oh, did I pick the right guy? No, that's Caratini. I swear to God, I picked Jake Myers. What happened here? Yeah, same thing. Doesn't look all that great. No history. Right-handed pitching, Jake Myers only batting .224, 0 homers, or excuse me, 0 runs, has 8 homers. So majority of his power is coming against right-handed pitching. Against right-handed pitching on the year, 22.5% strikeout rate. Shane Baz, on the other hand, versus right-handed bats, man, I think this has taking the under on this one has more to do with how Shane Baz has controlled righties versus Jake Myers versus righties, because an under 200 batting average with no power, just a bunch of singles. Now, I know it's limited plate appearances, but it's a fact that he hasn't allowed a homer. He has not allowed an extra base hit to a right-handed bat this season. It's a pretty decent play. What's up, Vibes? Rosalie says, I have Jake and Profar for the winning ticket. All right. Gunnar and Judge to hit a home run today. I'm not laying up. I mean, at this point, you're kind of invested in it, JR. I mean, if you take your foot off the gas now, you know what's going to happen. He's going to hit a home run the day you don't play him. So I think you're in too deep now. There's no turning back. You just got to keep going. He's been hitting his fantasy score. That's the thing, is like, if you're playing the over on his home run, you should also be playing the over on at least one other prop, either his runs, RBIs, fantasy, or maybe RBI, because he's getting a lot done. He's just not going yards. So that'd be a good way for you to leverage it and maybe, win a little money until he hits a home run. But I agree. You got to keep going forward now. So today's Friday. You got your Flex Friday option available to you, $5. Because it's only $5, I think this is the slip that I will condone playing demons, because it's a $5 play that gets refunded to your account if it doesn't hit. So being conservative and playing it safe on just $5, I feel like you should take a little bit more risk. When it was $20, that was a little different, because you could, turn 20 into 60 or 20 into 100 with a very, strong foundation in your slip. But with just $5, I feel like maybe throw a demon in there. And so we're talking about home runs today. I don't see Gunnar in there for a home run on PrizePicks. Now, Gunnar's home run was available yesterday in the afternoon. They're not putting it on the board when we're streaming. Usually you see different plays put on the board in the afternoon. So I noticed that his home run prop was on the board yesterday, probably like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. But for now, because we want to create a demon type slip, or just give you an idea of what you can do. I would wait until your $5 promotion is available in your account, and then throw your $5 on a pick or on a slip that's kind of like this, so that way you can maximize your payout. Bellinger hits run RBIs. So a play like this or a slip like this has 2 home run props in it, or 2 demon home run, or 2 demon plays in it. That's an 18x on a 4-pick. 13x. Even the payout on a flex with this structure is pretty strong. It's a 5x on a 4-pick flex, and then it's a 10x on a 4-pick power. So you're getting a pretty decent increase of 8 either way. If you wanted to go a little riskier, if you like the over on Bellinger's hits, runs, and RBIs, then you can just check out what the RBI prop looks like, and that increases your payout to 25.5. If you went to a flex, that increases your payout from a 5x to a 17x. This correlates well with his hits, runs, and RBIs. Depending on your research, if you feel like he's going to go over hits, runs, and RBIs with hits alone, you can do something like that. He's going to get you 2 hits today. That'll take care of hits, runs, and RBIs, and then that'll take care of this demon, and now your payout increases even more. So it's really all about how you structure it. And if you're going to play the flex option, if you put your $5 flex on this, you get them all right, you're looking at a winning of 162. If you flex it, it's 95. $95 off of $5 when it would typically be just 20 is a pretty strong difference. So you have a few different ways you can go. If we take a look at what Gunnar Henderson is up to today, now this matchup versus Carrasco is nasty for Carrasco, because he's just not that good anymore. He's just not that good anymore. He's good enough to be in the major leagues. I mean, he's good enough to go out and strike out the average dude, or maybe some, you know, above average MLB players, but he's just not as good as he once was. Carrasco over 3.5 strikeouts. Yeah, I think he'll get his strikeouts, but he'll also give up 5 earned runs. So pick your poison. Numbers against the Orioles, just one season, or just one game this season, he only allowed 2 earned runs. He struck out 3 batters, and he went a total of 5 innings. So even though he didn't get rocked, he didn't really do a whole lot of damage over strikeouts. So earned runs today, he's projected to give up 3. His line's 2.5. His odds are minus 137, 135, and 138 across 3 different books. When you look at BVP versus Carrasco, Gunnar Henderson is right there. He's 1 for 1, or excuse me, 1 of 3. No strikeouts, no walks. So he's putting the ball in play every single time. He is literally the only guy on this team that has any positive numbers versus Carrasco. Gunnar Henderson today, plus 475 to go yard. This is against Cleveland. So last 3 games against Cleveland, 2 home runs in his last 3 games. 0 for 5, 0 for 10, right? Since the All-Star break, has not gone yard. This is what he's doing: hits, runs, and RBI. So if you're playing the over on his home run, I really think you should be playing a second play, whether it's hits, runs, RBIs, maybe total bases. RBIs in play. I think his runs are also in play. You know, fantasy scores in play. So I think if you're playing a home run prop for him, you got to be taking advantage of what he's doing, because when he's not hitting a home run, he's still going over a lot of lines. And when he does finally hit a home run, he's definitely going to go over the rest of that. Two singles and 3 plate appearances with a home run and 2 RBIs. I mean, 3 plate appearances and he has 3 plate appearances and he has 3 hits. So okay, I see how I was reading that. My bad. So yeah, he's 3 for 3 against this guy. I don't know why I was thinking he's 1 for 3. This one represents 1,000. He's batting 1,000% against this guy. So he's batting 1,000%. So he's 3 for 3, 100% really. But you can see that he hasn't struck out. He hasn't been walked. Every single plate appearance versus Carrasco has resulted in a hit. So a very small sample size for Gunnar Henderson today, but it's a good sample size. So we can't do anything about the fact that he hasn't faced this guy 20 times. But in the times that he's faced him, he's rocked him. 306 batting average against righties. All his powers against righties. Carrasco versus righties, like Carrasco versus lefties like Henderson. Almost identical numbers. The batting averages are damn near the same. Power is almost the same. Extra base hits. I mean, these are almost identical. The average is a little low, but it's not low enough to be scared off of it. I feel like if you're going to go home run prop today on Gunnar Henderson, this is a good matchup. It offers a lot of upside. Aaron Judge matchup today. Versus Kevin Gossman. 4 singles, 2 doubles, and 5 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 47 plate appearances. This is a very strong sample size. Almost 50 plate appearances. He's batting nearly 300. 757 slug. Those are really good numbers. 30 home runs against right-handed pitching. I mean, that's all his power, all his numbers against righties. Gossman versus righties like Judge, 249 batting average. Those aren't terrible numbers. They're not like exceptional, but the numbers versus Judge specifically are really bad for Gossman. Home run prop today for Judge, plus 170 to go over, minus 235 to go under. 3 home runs in his last 5 games. Numbers against the Blue Jays: 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Am I counting that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 home runs. He's homered in 10 games, 12 home runs. Is Bobby demon for runs? I'm surprised that's a demon. The matchup with Scooble is bad, Rosalie. That's why. So that was Judge. Judge looks good. Bobby Ritz. Although the matchup on paper against Scooble is not good. Scooble versus the Royals, he hasn't been dominant. He does have 3 singles and 1 RBI, but his batting average is really low. So I'm assuming his strikeouts are up versus Scooble. Not really. 16% strikeout rate versus Scooble. So that means he's putting the ball in play, but they're not hits. I think 19 plate appearance is a fair sample size to really trust. It's not fluky. just every batter has a pitcher that just has their number. I'm sure at some point he'll hit a home run and drive in a few more runs, but over the course of the next few years, I feel like, I mean, there's only room to improve this batting average, but even if it does improve and he's batting 220, it's really not a good average either. So sometimes pitchers just have the advantage. Yeah, but ideally, you know, you're looking at his runs and thinking, okay, this guy's been crossing the plate. He's been doing a good job of getting on base, and then he's been doing a better job of scoring runs because his teammates are driving him in. If he hits a home run, he obviously scores a run. Plus 450 odds on that one. Pasquantino had 2 home runs yesterday. He was in a little slump. Last 5 games, 2 games with home runs. Then prior to these 2 games, he was in a little slump. But 3 home runs in 2 games, it's not sustainable, obviously. Numbers against the Tigers. Numbers against Skubal. Skubal, like I said, on paper, this matchup looks really nasty for the Royals because Skubal's done a great job of just controlling the power, not giving up too much. Ideally, though, Witt against lefties, you want to attack that. Low strikeout rate, high batting average. Pasquantino versus lefties, higher strikeout rate. Man, I wish they bumped up his hits and runs and RBI to like 2 or 2.5. I would take the under on that shit all day, just because that's what they do. That's what pick'em sites do. They play off the last game, so they know that we're gonna go and look at the game logs and say, "Damn, he had 10 bases. Oh, I'm gonna go over next game," and they're just playing off that shit. So I would gladly take the under on this if they were 2.5. At 1.5, it's still within range. He's definitely not going to go 8 bases, 8 hits and home runs every game, but he's been hitting 2 pretty damn consistently. So going over 1.5 feels a lot better than going over 2.5, which is ridiculous. Unless the game is being played in Coors Field or London. When those games are in London, you're like 18-16 final scores. Yeah, but this is just a normal game in a normal ballpark, and people are going to be playing the shit out of this because of what he did last game. All right, let's see. Build out a slip. 35 minutes into the stream. Let's see if we can build out a slip. I'm not going to put in this demon slip on the stream. I'm going to wait until I want to do a little bit more research, to be honest, on some of these plays. Gobbies in Paris. Win a perfect lineup with only 2 squares from the 24 summer games in Paris and get a free lineup the next day. Obviously, I'm going to take advantage of that. Not right now, but at some point today. All right. I guess we'll build out a prize pick slip, and then we'll build out an underdog slip, and then I should do it. All right. So we got George Springer. That's a newer one under his runs. There's Tyler Anderson, Guerrero under. So you got 2 Blue Jays under fantasy for Vlad and under run for Springer. Who's pitching on Who's pitching for the Yankees today? Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman versus his old team. I feel like he's played for every team in the league. BVP versus George Springer for Marcus Stroman, 50% strikeout rate. BVP versus Guerrero, 17% strikeout rate. I mean, those two make sense. Fitzgerald over fantasy score. Giants at Cincinnati today. Just one data point. Spencer Horwitz under. Man, that's 3 Blue Jays. 3 Blue Jays plus EV plays. All unders for these dudes. So I feel like the books are expecting Stroman to just control this game, not give up too much. There's another. So Vladdy over hits, runs, and RBIs, but under fantasy score. That's totally possible. He can get a single, he can drive in a run, or he can get 2 hits and still finish with 8 or 7 and it go under. Brent Rooker over hits, runs, and RBIs. Appreciate y'all being here. Hit that like button on your way in. Let me go ahead and get that off the screen. Cole Ragans over 37.5 fantasy score. Usually I stay away from these when they're under because I don't know, man. Every time I pick an under on a pitcher, they go 9 innings and shit. But when I see an over and I see the matchup versus a team that strikes out a lot like Detroit, I'm intrigued. All right, so I think I'm going to start this slip off with this slip is not going to be a demon slip. I know we talked about home runs for Judge, Gunnar, and we talked about the demon prop for Bellinger, but this slip is just going to be a normal slip because I want to put one in and then I want to save my a demon prop slip for my free play. So I'm going to put in Vlad and I'm going to put in this over for Dragons. And then I'll show you what I was looking at for Guerrero versus Stroman. Or you can go under on George Springer's runs. So numbers versus Stroman, Vladdy does have 3 singles and 2 RBIs. So there goes, I think, the reason we saw the over for his hits, runs, and RBIs. A single and an RBI, that gets the over, but it doesn't get him the over on fantasy. So 12 plate appearances, that's 3 games. I'm assuming he's getting roughly 4 at-bats in these games. So he's averaging a single in every game, and he's almost averaging an RBI in every game. So even if he was averaging an RBI in every game, that's just 2 points. The single gets you 3, that's 5 points. He still needs 4 more points to go over. So unless he draws a walk, unless he gets hit by a pitch, if he steals a base, something else has to happen here. It's possible he can draw a walk. It's possible a walk will get him to 7 points. Obviously, if he hits a double instead of a single, that gets them closer to fantasy, but he has no doubles against Stroman. It's just a lot of minimal damage here. Singles. Cole Ragans versus Detroit. His fantasy prop is set to 37.5. Last 5 games, he's averaging 7 strikeouts. Last 10, he's averaging 7 strikeouts. Last 10 games, he's allowing an average of 2 earned runs. Last 5 games, he's been getting touched up a little bit. Cleveland, playing in Colorado, that's a tough one. Arizona and Chicago. But against Detroit, 2 out of 3 games, he kept the earned runs low. Last game, this is most important because this is recent. In that last game against Detroit, he struck out 12 batters and he went 6 innings. So that's 36 plus 18. What is that? 54 points. He gets the quality start bonus. That's 58 points. He gave up no earned runs. He could have given up 3 earned runs in that game and still got the quality start bonus. I mean, at 54 points, he could have given up 6 earned runs and still went over fantasy. Detroit on the year, striking out at a 21% rate. And then BVP versus Cole Ragans. He's done really well against this team. This current team, these players, he's done really well. So I like that one. So under on Guerrero, over on Ragans. I like the under on Jake Myers. Fossil over 14 first 2 map headshots. Got to make sure it's the right game. 14 versus I don't know what that is. B8. Okay. Need 2 more. Wow, what a name. So this is the same game, but it is opposite sides. No, it's the same team, so we cannot play this one. That sucks. That's a good line. You can play this one instead of Fossil. They're both projected to go over their lines, but you can't play them in the same lineup without getting payout decrease, which sucks because that's a strong one. And we may have to get into some yellow here, which I really don't want to do, but hold on. We could actually put the if the tennis play is still available, we can add that one to this slip. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hardwire this this laptop because this shit is ridiculous, man. High-speed internet is now like low-speed internet. It's dial-up at this point. All right, that took forever. Yeah, so it's still here. It's the Vakic Zhang under second set total games. So we'll head back to PrizePicks. You can find these first and second set total games under the tennis live tab. They're not going to be under tennis. You got to go tennis live, and then we go under on this one. That gives us a 5 pick. So we got 5 plays in here that are very solid. We could throw one more in there, make it a 6 pick. You can play whatever you want. If you want to play 5 picks or 2 picks or 3 picks, that's definitely on you. I like playing the 5s and 6, preferably 6, because the payout's better. But if you like these 5 and you want to roll with these 5, throw them in a slip. It should be a profitable slip based on how we're building it. Okay, this Dennis Schroeder over 6.5 assists. I'm not even I'm not even going to dig too deep into that one, just because I already see it with like 8 data points. And he's off the board already, just like that. Damn, that didn't take long at all. It was that good of a play. It was that good of a play. 6.5 assists for Dennis Schroeder. Damn, that was a really good play. Missed it. Refreshing it again. This is how quickly player props change, how they get put on the board. This shit happens super fast. It's still on the board. That's bullshit. It's not on the board anymore. That sucks, man. I do not want to go under on Tyler Anderson. I just don't trust it. I tell you what, absolutely breadwinner. I can do that. I can do that. Right when I'm done with this slip. How far do we have to scroll down in this bitch? Ozuna over 7.5 batter fantasy score, hitter fantasy score. Olsen is starting to heat up in Atlanta. He was looking really nasty for a while. He just wasn't getting it done. And then I don't know if he has back-to-back jacks or if he just hit a home run last night, but or the night before or whatever. But he's starting to heat up. Ozuna today versus Valente and Belozo. Okay. He's projected for 2.65 hits, runs, and RBIs. At home against righties. Ozuna batting 288, 26 home runs. I feel like he's due for a home run. Plus 225 odds to go over. The only reason I'm considering this is because it's on the optimizer. He's projected for about 8 fantasy points. They got him set to 7.5. I tell you what, I don't want to throw a six pick in there and it just not be one that I like or comfortable with. So I'm gonna run this 5 pick, five pick for 10x. So putting 10 on it, if it wins, that's 100. If it gets 4 out of 5, that's a double up. So that's 20. You can run this play. You can run this slip and add your 6 pick in there and make it a 6 pick if you want. But those are the 5 picks that I feel the best about. All right, let's look over on PrizePicks or Underdog. All right. As we find plays on Underdog, I'm going to add them to my phone. I got the app pulled up on my phone. It's much easier to build this on my phone and then share the slip in the chat. But if you want to build this along with me as we're going through it, just pull it up on your phone. That way you don't have to wait for the link to drop. Soto over 0.5 walks. I got that one in there. Here's the one that we wanted to play on PrizePicks, but we couldn't because we had his teammate in there, this X5G7. Over 25, first 2 map kills. That's our second play. We got this Cole Raggins in there. I'm going to skip him for now because I feel like we got way more value on underdog to choose from, so we don't have to go double dipping. Frozen, that's a pretty strong play. All 3 plays got him over 30, or all 3 plays have him at 30 and underdog has him at 32. So that discrepancy is a pretty good one to take advantage of. So we go lower on that one. If you don't want to play Soto's walks, you can play the over on his runs. Schwellenbach over 34.5 fantasy score against the Marlins. That could be in play. Adley Rushman over 0.5 strikeouts. Brian Reynolds under 2. We have Adolis Garcia over 6.5. Anytime that I run out of value on the optimizer, I'll just go visit the sports betting tab and see if there's anything that's not showing on the optimizer. And then I'll throw those into a slip. I've been able to find some pretty decent value on the sports betting side. I got it filtered to only show what's available in Texas. Otherwise, this thing will be flooded with plays because there are a million books out there. But in Texas, I only have access to player props. So we're just looking for anything that has, oh, look, Steph Curry. How about that one? If you want to play, fuck this. So we're going to make this, make this a 6 pick real quick. And we're just going to roll with the same 5 that we had. And I'm just going to add Steph Curry over 3s. And there's our 6 pick right there. Feel free to change whatever play you want to whatever play you want, but we're just going to roll with those 5, and we're going to add Steph Curry over 3s. And I even think that T asked if Curry was going to go over 3s. I'm going to say yes. So there you go. All right, so back to what we were looking at. We were looking for underdog and got distracted there. No underdog plays on this list right now. That's okay. We'll go back to the optimizer. So we really just built out 2 PrizePicks slips, a 5 pick and a 6 pick. Basically the same plays, except we added Steph Curry over 3s, and that made it a 6 pick. So fingers crossed. No promos on underdog today. If we had a promo, we would just throw that one in there and, you know, move on. That's a pick for sure. Helio Ramos over 7.5 hitter fantasy score. This game is in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is regarded as a very hitter-friendly ballpark, so it's like Coors Field Light. Not Coors Light, it's Coors Field Light. And so typically you'll see hitters from opposing teams do well there because it's just a friendlier ballpark. So we're looking at his fantasy score today. He's projected for 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. I don't really see a whole lot in his projections. Numbers against Cincinnati in 4 games, he has 5 total bases. In those 4 games, he has 8 hit, runs, and RBIs. In those 4 games, he has no home runs, just 1 RBI. a lot of runs scored, just one walk, no stolen base, and he has a shit ton of strikeouts. His numbers against Andrew Abbott are okay. A double and a single. If he hits a double and a single today, it gets it done. I think this is in one game. 4 plate appearances. Unless Abbott got pulled early and they face each other again down the road, I think this is in one game. So in one game, he had a single and a double, and that gets it done today. His numbers against left-handed pitching, he's batting .420. He's batting .420 with 7 home runs, 7 doubles, 1 triple. So I'm assuming that has a lot to do with why the over on his fantasy score is in play. He is projected to shatter this line. I mean, that's like 3 hits, runs, and RBIs at -160. Little juice to the under, but not a whole lot. His home run projection is 330. Let's put him in this lineup. He is crushing lefties. You got 2 data points for him today. I don't know why I can't scroll. You have 2 data points on BetMGM and DraftKings. All right, so here's a new one. Bogdan Bogdanovic. Just 1 data point, 19.5 on HOTSTREAK. So there is not a lot to go with. Taking the under on his points and rebounds, I feel like that's a little risky just because those 2 lines are very close. So we're at a 4 pick right now. They must be watching. Man, that Dennis Schroeder play was really good. I wish we would have got that, but I think that Steph Curry play is really good too. So we missed out on Dennis Schroeder. We found the Curry play. That Curry play looks strong. Let's see. O'Neal Cruz under runs scored. That has more to do with his teammates than it does him. Alec Thomas under hits, runs, and RBIs. I'm going to refresh this one. I don't really like. I mean, we could go with Cole Ragans again. We could throw him in this slip. We already have him in PrizePicks, in a PrizePicks slip. This Schwellenbach jumped to the top. But just 1 data point. Numbers against the Marlins, we can look that up. But we know that Ragans for sure is in a good spot. I might just throw him in there. And then that gives us 5 plays. Did anything change on Bogdan? Still just 1 data point. Does Brian Reynolds under 2 hits, runs, and RBIs? I'm not going to lie. I want to look up this Adolis Garcia. Who's pitching for Boston today? In his last 10 games, or in his last 12 matchups with the Red Sox, he has a total of 5 home runs, 2 in his last 5, or no, 0 in his last 5, 1 in his last 10. We don't need him to hit a home run today. We're looking at his fantasy score. So numbers against Cutter Crawford, not that great. Just a double. It doesn't mean that he can't get it done, but I feel like we can do better than that. Ryan Mountcastle over a single. That's a very specific line. I don't know, because he can easily get a double or a home run and still go under a single. Those suck when you go with those types of plays and the guy has a great game and he does everything except get a single. Jordan under 9 fantasy points versus Shane Baz. We already got the under on Jake Myers today. Going under on Jordan. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna refresh it just one more time, and if I don't see anything I like, then damn, we already had one play removed. Cole Ragans, Helio Ramos, Brandon Fat under 6 strikeouts. He needs 7 to get over. Brandon Fat under 6 strikeouts. If he got 6, then that pushes, but it doesn't get us. If we don't lose it. Wilson Contreras, man, he messed up my slip last night. Should we go right back to him at 6.5 fantasy score? Any underdog plays from anybody? Wimby for 4 assists. Bobby Witt over a single. Matt Chapman over 8.5. So that's two Giants, Chapman and Helio Ramos, going over their fantasy score in this ballpark versus the Reds. There's Pasquantino. Talked about him earlier. I think somebody asked about his hits, runs, and RBIs. He's projected to go over batting strikeouts, under singles. Jake Berger. Man. One more time. This is what you have to do to build a slip. You just refresh. And every time you refresh, there's something new. Look, Tyler Stevenson, under 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. Now, this is in the same ballpark that we like hitters for, but we got a home team guy going under. Man, I really want to play this one. I wish it had more data points. There's another one that wasn't on there before. Blitz. There's one under 31.5. It's a little tight with that discrepancy. Soto's coming down. Wilson Contreras over 6.5 hitter fantasy score. I do want to go back to him because yesterday he was 0 for 4. Maybe even 0 for 5. I don't know. He didn't do anything yesterday. Today his numbers against Javier Assad, just a home run, but a home run and an RBI. So solo shot homer in 6 plate appearances over his last 5 games. I mean, he was all right going into yesterday's game. Hits, runs, and RBI over his last 5 games. Not bad. I mean, 3 out of 5 games is strong. 50% in his last 10 games. Total bases in those games. Again, I mean, going into yesterday's game, everything looked good. 6.5 hitter fantasy score. He needs 7 to go over this one. Typically against righties, he's okay. Low batting average, but more power. Higher batting average versus lefties with less power. Javier Assad today is projected to give up, damn, not that many runs. He's only projected to give up 2 earned runs. Blech. I mean, there are ways to score fantasy points without scoring runs, but I mean, yeah, I'd like to see a few better numbers than that. I mean, we have 5 plays in here right now. We can run a 5 pick. But I feel like if we just if we had just waited a few extra minutes, and we could have threw that Curry in at first instead of doing a 5 and a 6. But I think sometimes you just got to be patient building a slip. Feel free to build this one out as we go if you want. I'm really looking for a 6 play here. Man, this Tyler Stevenson is looking real good. Under 2 hit runs and RBIs. Anything new? Nothing new. I'm going to throw Stevenson in there. It's a plus EV play. We're getting support across 1, 2, 3, 4 books, 5 books. Unless Curry has a 3-point prop on the underdog that we can just double down on. Nah. Wait a minute. Curry's 3-point prop was 2.5 on PrizePicks. We were getting good juice on that one. It's 2.5 on underdog with a 1.05 payout boost. Oh, what happened here? All right, I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share the link in the chat. But all I did was add. Steph Curry's 3-point prop, and we're playing the same play on underdog and PrizePicks, except on underdog is giving us a slight. It's giving us a slight payout boost of 1.05. So we'll get a little bit more if we hit. But sometimes when I try to save this off my phone so I can upload it to the chat, it only saves the image and not the link. So then I have to go back and redo it, which is what I'm currently doing now. Damn, we got like a dog fight outside. Mike Vick in this bitch. All right, well, that's loading up. Let's just take another look at some value and see if there's anything else we can perhaps put into a slip. All right, so that's a total of 3 plays. We built 2 on PrizePicks, 1 on underdog. There's 3 plays right there. That's a lot of value on this stream. All right, last gander at PrizePicks before we get on out of here. Appreciate y'all being here. Definitely appreciate y'all being here on a Friday morning. Cole Ragans on PrizePicks just got bumped up to 38.5. We got it in at 37. So that's how quickly things can change. We don't really care about that one because we got it in at the lower line, so we're fine. There's our flex. Let's go ahead and opt into that. So PrizePicks, a lot of esports plays available, just 1 data point. So the problem with the 1 data point is that you don't really know where the line is supposed to be. What you're trying to find is a discrepancy in the market. But when there are only 2 lines, it's a coin flip. Which one is right? Which one is closer? We don't know. But like this one for Cole Ragans, when we get his line at 37.5 and you see that 3 different books feel that this line should be set closer to 40, or he's in line for 40 fantasy points, either way, this shows you a big difference, and then that's what you're looking for. So the more data points you have, usually the better play it is, because it's easier to find the best value. 2 data points, 14.5 and 15.5. Basel over 14, first 2 map headshots. So even though it's only a difference of 0.5, it's still the lowest line. So then you can look to take the over on that one. And then if you want to take the under on HOTSTREAK, you can middle that. Tyler Fitzgerald over 7 fantasy score. 2 books like it at 8, the over, or he's in line for 8 fantasy points. So this is saying that this is a little too low. Anybody play on parlay play? We'll take a look at some plays real quick. Shohei Ohtani over 0.5 home runs. You have him at plus 40 on DraftKings. Those are very strong numbers. I think the best line that we saw when we were looking at home runs was Judge. Wasn't it at like plus 260 or something? You're getting Ohtani at plus 140. One thing you can do also is when you see a play on a different pick'em site, just see if it's on other pick'em sites. So Shohei Ohtani over a home run, it's presenting really good value on parlay play. You can add it to a slip on underdog. You're already getting support. Bobby Witt over 1.5 hits. The matchup against Scooble is, again, it's not awesome. Bobby Witt over 1.5 hits. I'm not saying this shit's going to hit, but what I am saying is that we're finding plays that are giving us good value in the market, and we're finding them on PrizePicks. They're demon plays, which is why they're not popping up on the optimizer, because demons don't pop up. But on parlay play, they don't have demon plays. So it's just a regular ass line, and that's what we're getting here. So in terms of building out a demon play, if you wanted to build out a demon slip for your flex, this is one way you can do it. There's Judge over 0.5 home runs. We had Judge in our original like messing around slip at the beginning of the stream. Bobby Witt over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. You want to throw an NFL play in there? You want to throw an NFL play in there for Alvin Kamara? You got to wait a month, but there you go. So we got 3 plays on this, potential demon slip. If you wanted to throw your $5 flex on it, because it's only $5, it does limit your upside when you just throw it in on a normal average slip with just regular lines, which is fine. You can build a great slip out and try to 10 or 25 exit, or you can put some demons in there knowing that you'll get your money back if it doesn't hit. The risk, it's risk free at that point. So we also originally had Gunner in here, but we didn't have his home run prop because it wasn't available to us. But we had his did it get added up? No, we had his RBI prop in there. We had his RBI prop in there. Who else did we have in there? Bellinger. Rooker. Damn. Is that 4 straight games with a home run for this dude? No. So 2 out of his last 5 were home runs. Damn. No history versus Gavin Stone. 17 homers against righties. At home? Damn. Wow. Today he's projected to give today he's projected for 3 hits, runs, and RBIs, but the odds don't like his hits, runs, and RBIs. Run RBI. That's interesting. Does not have a home run prop today, but he does have fantasy score. He does have total bases. He does have RBIs. I mean, if you want fantasy score for him and kept it conservative, this 5 pick would get you 36x. If you went a little riskier and said, let's go with probably RBI will be the most payout. It's a 50x. That's a 50x on this dude. That's a 50x payout on a 5 pick. If you opted for your flex, that's a 250. Possible winnings. Seattle Mariners and Phillies under 0.5 first inning total runs. That one is a new one on the optimizer. That one is getting good juice to the over or to the under. Yeah, I'm about to get off. I didn't realize it's almost 10:30. Anyway, I'm just trying to give you an idea of how you could build out a demon slip using your flex. So you could do that. If you want to add in a play for a 6 pick, I just thought about this. We already played this play, but you could possibly look to just re-add in this Vekic Zhang play, make it a 6 pick, and go for a 70x. Something like that. You can get pretty creative if you're trying to build out a demon slip. But I think that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to build out a demon slip, throw that in the Discord a little later today. But we built out 3 slips on the On the stream, we built out 2 PrizePicks slips. We built out an underdog slip. We used the fantasy optimizer to help us get it done, and then a bit of refreshing, we're able to complete a slip. So when to tell those plays, I would say make sure you do it now versus later, because we were seeing a lot of movement. Those plays were getting bumped and taken off the board. So that's going to do it for today. Appreciate y'all being here on this Friday morning. Appreciate you dropping a like. If you haven't dropped a like, do it now before you get out of here. Drop a like. Consider subbing up to the channel, and make sure the notification icons are turned on so you don't miss out on future content like this afternoon's YouTube short, where I give out 3 extra plays on 3 different pick'em sites. You can add those to a slip, and hopefully they profit. We'll be back on Monday. No live streams on Saturday and Sunday, but we'll be back on Monday with another live stream at 9 a.m. Appreciate y'all being here again. Have a great weekend. Hope you have some profits coming your way. We'll talk all about it on Monday morning. And until that morning's live stream, Chavez is out.